My name is Jessica Allen, and I'm a farmer assistant with Springfield Community Gardens. SCG, for short, is a program where we try to feed the community, and not only feed them, but teach them how to feed themselves effectively. We have over 20 different gardens in the local Springfield area where we offer people a space to learn how to grow food and offer them tools and teachers and other resources to teach them how to do that efficiently. We also have programming for farmer incubator sites, which the Market Garden is one of those, and that's how I am employed. We offer people who are socially disadvantaged or new to farming, or other reasons that somebody might want to get involved. We offer them a space to learn how to grow and to grow for market, and we offer them resources to start up their own farm in the future. So that's how I got my job, and I'm learning everything from the ground up. I actually have a master's in social work, which some people might think would be totally unrelated, but it's not, because there's this mission, right, to feed and create community. And so yeah, I'm really having fun learning the skill of farming, and really appreciate the opportunity to do that in a space where I don't have to grow to make money. I can grow it to give it to other people. We compost all of our materials that come off of the farm. Any crops that we're getting rid of, we harvest what we can, and we throw out the unusable parts into the compost pile. So you can kind of see our scrap pile over here that's been building. And then we also take food scraps from the community center here next to the farm, and they'll come out and dump in these bins, and we'll compost all these materials. And we also get coffee from the coffee shop that's inside the Fairbanks. They bring us lots of coffee, which makes really hot compost, it turns out.
So what other kind of things are composted that come from the community center?
Like they have a lot of food that they give out in their food drives, so like fresh fruit, fresh produce, things like that. And so things that don't make it to the next week, often they'll throw over here. And then like I said, like the coffee, but yeah, all the weeds and like other, we use ryegrass in the compost as well. So like ryegrass is a cover crop that we use, and I'll go into that more later when we talk about bed prep, but we have the ryegrass as like our browns, right?
Awesome.
And so like the food scraps would be like the greens. And then we mound our compost. So when we create a new pile, we kind of go in like a mound. So like we'll do like a huge slab of greens and kind of like a hill, and then we'll do some browns over top of it, so like ryegrass or other weeds or things like that. And then we'll do another layer of greens, so like rotting food, stuff like that. And then coffee is usually what I like to put on top to kind of bring everything down and keep it moist. And then mulch over top of everything. So this is our hottest pile right now. It started out the first day, it was at 152.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's what, like, I don't know, 80 something degrees outside right now. But
yeah. And it is still climbing. And it's been a few days that it's been sitting here too.
Yeah.
Close to a week now, actually.
But at least 140. That's crazy.
So we'll let that sit for a long time, and 150 is actually the temperature that we want it at for several days before we go ahead and turn it.
Okay.
And so turning it means to take all the outside materials and put them on the new core of this new pile here, and then everything that was on the inside will go onto the outside to compact and decompose. And then we'll turn it 2 more times, and you can see each pile is getting smaller and smaller as we go down. So this is our last pile, and so when this pile has been here for a considerable amount of time, maybe like a few weeks or something like that is usually how long they sit here, we will come over to our sifter, and we'll load wheelbarrows of the compost on top of here and kind of spread it all around, and the stuff that's really good and really fine will fall to the bottom where we have a wheelbarrow, and then the chunks like the mulch and stuff we can brush over here into this bin, and we'll just add it back to the first pile.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it has another chance to decompose.
Yeah.
And the really cool thing about this compost is that it's really rich and dense, and so you can kind of pack it like a snowball and like break it in half, and it'll keep its form. Yeah. So I'll just put that back. Yeah, and so when we do bed prep, we use a lot of compost to build up the soil, so that we're not just planting into like Missouri clay. And
Yeah.
and so we've spent a lot of time building up soil, and that's why I like to start over here by the compost.
Yeah,
just because you
so
have to start with the soil, right?
So is this bed all the compost that you guys have spread, or is?
Yeah. These beds over here we just put together yesterday.
Nice. They look very pretty.
Yeah, that's a lot of compost.
Yeah,
right
no
there.
kidding. Because they're what, like 50 feet?
Yeah, 50-foot beds,
Yeah.
4 of them at 30 inches wide.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So when we start seeds, we use a mixture of compost and Happy Frog soil. And we use soil blockers, so we have like bigger ones that are like 2 inches, 1.5 inches, and then we have like these itty bitty ones too. Yeah, they're really small. So we'll just like pack a soil blocker full of soil and like just get it really compact in there, and then I can actually come over here and just pop out perfect little blocks.
Awesome.
And then I put the seed right in there, and then I just cover it with soil, and they can live in soil blocks like that. I've got an example of some over here that have been soil blocked.
So those are just coming up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then there's some that are a little bigger.
Mm-hmm. This is a caterpillar tunnel. The shape is kind of like a caterpillar, hence the name. This is one of our tunnels that we use to kind of protect our plants from the elements. So in the winter, it protects them from the wind and the cold, and it can also protect them from heavy amounts of rain sometimes, which is helpful. So we have all peppers in this tunnel right now. So eventually this row will be peppers as well. You can kind of see our bed prepping process here.
Yes.
We measure exactly 30-inch beds. A lot of our tools are standard to 30 inches, and so it makes it really easy to work in that space if we do 30 inches. And so we'll use a broad fork and till this, and then cover it with more compost to build the soil more. But yeah, we have this one measured out just right. And yeah,
Awesome.
Then we'll plant into it after that.
At what point do you lay the irrigation?
We lay the irrigation before transplanting.
Okay.
So that way, once the plants are in the ground, we can snuggle them up really closely to the drip tape. And then once they're planted, we can water them in right away, because plants really like a lot of water when they've been transplanted. So this is squash and zucchini. And we were going... Yeah, you could probably see some stuff that's ready in there.
Oh, there are a couple. Ouch.
That one's a little one. Yeah, don't poke yourself. They're really spiky. We have to use
know.
gloves.
So the squash and the cucumbers always like make me itch really bad. I know that's weird, but like it makes me itch so bad.
It makes me itch too.
There's some more
You're not alone in that.
down there.
Yeah, and we were going to plant something in this bed here, 'cause this is actually a bed.
Oh, gotcha.
But the
They just-
squash has just kind of overtaken
Yeah.
it, and we're like, all right,
Let
you
it be.
can have it. Sure, yeah, grow there.
Why not?
And we'll do the same thing with this kale, and that's actually mixed greens. All those yellow flowers over there is like
Oh,
a mixed
really?
spring
Oh, okay.
greens. That's another interesting fact about bolting is like when it's too hot, too quick, they bolt prematurely.
Oh,
And
yeah.
So we had just seeded all that arugula and all of those mixed greens, and within like a week they were bolted, and we were like,
All
what
right.
just happened?